Incredible flavours, even better stories. One pour, 10 minutes. Aussie bourbon lovers sharing bourbon with Australia.
Oh, it was almost like a timpani, that cork pop.
It wasn't a pop, it was more of a
bong.
dong.
So good. What are we pouring, H?
Oh, we are having some Larrikin Dave.
Some Larrikin Dave?
Well, no, Dave. We're having some Larrikin Bourbon.
Yes.
It's a single barrel. It's Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. And there's some exciting stuff about this particular bottle, Dave.
This particular, so for people playing along who know what Larrikin is or are familiar with a little bit of this story, the bottle we're pouring is the Kentucky Bourbon Festival 2024 Distillers Row pick. So this is the barrel pick they did.
And it's signed.
It's signed by Greg Keeley, the master distiller, the main man. And you're right. There's not just one story. There's lots of stories. The first one. Can we? Well, let's start by cheersing. Obviously,
cheersing to Larrikin.
Cheers. Oh, it's so good.
Delicious.
When I do a podcast, I do it with Larrikin. It's not always true.
Yes.
But
No.
I like that
What does Larrikin mean, Dave?
What is a Larrikin? Well, they've got a great description of it on their website, but a Larrikin is like someone who's a bit kind of free-spirited, kind of plays by their own rules.
Bit of mischief.
Good fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Funny, I would say funny.
Yeah.
What else is a Larrikin?
Yeah, that's a great description.
Yeah. But we know that because we're the Aussie bourbon lovers. But the amazing thing is that the majority of people who get to drink and enjoy this, because it's not available here in Australia yet.
You can't get this one in Australia, even though on the label there's a kangaroo and it's made by an Aussie who...
Greg Keeley, yeah.
Yeah, Greg lives in Kentucky.
Yep, and this is their mascot. What's his name? Do you remember his name? Is the kangaroo?
The kangaroo, I don't know, but he's an Aussie mascot, so he's a Larrikin mascot. But I said something funny before and now I'm trying to remember exactly what I said about the fact that you can't make bourbon in Australia because obviously it's one of the rules to bourbon is it's got to be in America.
Yep.
But you can't make bourbon in Australia. But Australians can make bourbon in America. And this is an example. It's kind of like an Aussie bourbon. It's one of those closest we can get to an Aussie bourbon because it can't be bourbon if it's made in Australia. But it's an Aussie in America making bourbon and it's really delicious.
And we've been holding off on doing this episode with this bottle because we've been trying to make a time with Greg to do the podcast. But we've finally discovered that we're going to be able to do other podcasts with him.
Yeah, we're going to meet him when we go to
in Kentucky.
KBF.
Yeah.
He's going to be at KBF and...
so we're finally allowed to drink this and talk about it, which is so much fun. Because we've only got one bottle in Australia. This is,
I know, and it's
there might be the only one here.
It's almost bottle kill.
Yeah, well, we've been holding on to
low.
that for the episode.
We really love it. So
the colours of the single barrel label are purple, and that is because, and this is unequivocally true, he's a Fremantle supporter. In fact, I think both he and Katie are Fremantle supporters.
Yep.
And they love Freo. And as a Hawthorn supporter...
So the label's a fabulous purple. And I remember when we tasted them, the whole range at Kentucky Bourbon Festival, it was really, really difficult to pick one because we were limited on what we could bring home. We ummed and ahed about which was our favourite because they were all so good. Because sometimes when we taste a range, there's definitely a standout for us. And we're like, yep, we're taking that bottle. Whereas with the Larrikins, there was, they were all so good. But we chose this one because one of my favourite colours was purple. And the purple label is pretty.
For me, it was about how good the juice is. This is an amazing bourbon.
So delicious. So delicious. I say delicious way too much.
No, it's 5 years old, but it drinks like very complex. And
it's not. It's a really rich dark colour too.
Yeah. Oh, look at that colour is amazing. Yep.
So great.
There's a handful of bourbons on our shelf, including some ridiculously expensive and hard to get ones that I think of as like really special pours, and this is one of those ones that I think of. It's like this is a really special occasion. I can have a bit more of that, knowing that I'm not going to be able to get another bottle.
Yeah, well, we know we're going back to KBF, so we're going to be definitely getting another bottle.
Well, not of that,
Not of that, though. Yeah, I know, but of a Larrikin, which you know is going to be good. But I do love the
I'm sure it'll be as good.
The getting low on a really good bottle. It's like it's hard to finish. I always find it hard to finish because you want to make that goodness last a little longer.
Yes. Couple of things about the story about us discovering Larrikin is that before they rebranded as Larrikin, which was during Kentucky Bourbon Festival in 2024, they were called Lawrenceburg Bourbon Company or Distilling Company.
because that's where they are based.
Yes. Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, right near Four Roses. And they said, we found out that they were Australian, so we sent an email saying, we didn't know there were Australians making bourbon. We didn't know this was a thing. And so we got all excited about it. And then we arrive at KBF that first day, and there is a ginormous, maybe let's call it 3-story high, inflatable
huge.
kangaroo. And
You couldn't miss where the Aussies were at the Bourbon Festival.
Yeah, it was, and it's just like the biggest thing. Like you stare at it. It was very funny and cool, and then was the talk of the town. And then the juice was so good. Everyone was talking about this bottle and the bottle and bond that they were pouring.
Yeah,
as well.
and they make really great gin too. I'm very excited to try that because I really like the label. There's a really cute wombat on it.
You're not even that much of a gin drinker anymore. Fat Wombat, I think it's called.
Yeah, Fat Wombat. It's got a really cute label, so I'm really excited to try that because I do like my G&Ts.
But it's a fun thing, right? Because bourbon is such an American thing. So Greg's story is that he served in the Australian military.
Yeah.
And then he served in the US military after that. And then after that, he's kind of retired, kind of transitioned out of the military into distilling. And it's such a cool story and a cool thing. And he is, I think, from what I've heard and know of him, he's a bit of a larrikin himself and a pretty cool character and certainly making a splash in.
His wife, Katie's from the military in America as well. So it's like a veteran-owned distillery.
Yeah, it says veteran-owned, veteran distilled on the bottle. Yep.
Yeah, which is, another great story. You've got great bourbon with great stories behind it.
Yeah, you really do. What is it about there's only a handful of people who are Australians who are doing things in the bourbon industry. What is it about Larrikin that kind of gets you a bit excited, H?
Oh, I just love, they've got great flavours, but I like behind the name, the silliness and the fun and the fact that they've taken kind of some classic Aussie culture and created it as kind of brought it to the Americans in their favourite drink, bourbon, or one of their favourite drinks. But the kangaroo and the wombat, all of that stuff, that they're able to kind of incorporate that into obviously something that can only be American, which is bourbon.
And it's just genuinely good juice as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
If you go to the website, they've got what looks like a giant Sharon, AFL football Sharon.
Meat pies.
With Dockers as a hot air balloon, towing a meat pie as the basket of the hot air balloon.
Yeah.
And then they've got quokkas and emus.
Vegemite,
over
crocodiles.
Sandman cars with crocodiles and Vegemite jars and Blossom.
Emus, all the classic Australian stuff.
Surfboards. The City Opera House gets a cameo. And that's just on above the fold on the menu. So,
but I love the fact that they're bringing some of the great stories of Australia to bourbon in America. I think that's it's a great crossover. We can't make bourbon in Australia. We make good whiskey, but I love bourbon. And the fact that I can get almost like what you call an Aussie bourbon is really great. And that tastes really amazing. And
they're great fun on socials. When I said when I do a podcast, I do it with Larrikin. They're doing some fun content. They're being kind of fairly...
Yeah. If you follow us on Instagram, Dave did a very silly reel of all the fun things he does with the Larrikin.
Oh, that's silly. It's just kind of joining in the fun. Yeah. But I think it's great to find this thing of there's a nice crossover of that thing. Because I actually think... What do you think about this one? I was thinking about this the other day. I was caught up with an old friend who's Scottish, but he doesn't drink whiskey. I thought he would drink Scotch, but he's not a Scotch drinker.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to him that I think that the bourbon culture has an inherently Australian characteristic to it.
It's that mateship, I think. One of the things that really amazed me when we first went to Kentucky and started to get to know different distilleries and the people involved in making this amazing, delicious drink was that they didn't feel like competitors. They were all talking about each other's stuff and make sure you try theirs and they've got a really great one of these toasted ones or they've got a really good single barrel. And it was this really that camaraderie and mateship that it was I would say is a very classic Aussie thing.
I think that's one part of it.
Yeah.
But then the other part, and there's lots of great complexity to what I think of the bourbon culture and what made us fall in love with it and why we're here doing this and one of the wild random people who walks around Australia saying that we love drinking bourbon neat in a glass, and in Australia that's such a weird thing. But the idea that you can drink bourbon exactly how you like it, that the distillers are trying to make it so you can enjoy it how you want it. It's just such a laid back approach to what can otherwise sometimes be thought of as a really tightly wound, highly strung
A little bit snobby.
kind of category. Whiskey's kind of like
It's like, how do you have
if
it? Don't
you're
drink
into
it with that. And make sure you drink it with this.
if you're into serious whiskey, you might be a bit more. Yeah.
Slightly offended by what we're saying.
Well, no, this is the bourbon thing, though, right?
Yeah, it's drink it how you like it, and
yeah,
and that's what I love.
Cool. Well, we're looking forward to getting to hang out with Greg again. But
I know, and I want to go when we're over there. We want to go and check out the distillery and sample all their new bottles because they've got lots of cool. There's like a rosewater one, and they're doing really fun things. So,
bourbon cream, lots of cool things.
It's fun. It's Larrikin.
Looking forward to trying more of their stuff and getting to share some more stories with you guys of that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you're connected with us on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube, and stay connected with us by clicking subscribe on your favourite podcast app.